We are MDT. We design, test, and create precision rifle chassis and accessories to help you shoot better.
So PRS is known for its scoring as you either hit or you miss, and if you hit, you get a point. If you miss, you do not get a point. People don't realize the accuracy that the guns and the shooters are getting to now. To show you guys the accuracy and the precision that this sport is pushing towards, we're going to run 3 of the top shooters in the PRS through some pretty difficult stages here to show you just what they can do downrange. When we usually shoot on steel, the bullet splash, it takes off a lot more paint than just the bullet hole. So we're going to be shooting this on paper so you can see exactly where the guys are hitting at and see just how tight these groups are. Okay, Francis, we're going to run through the stage brief real quick. Target is at 499.
All right.
And the aiming point we have down there is about 1.5 inch red dot. You got 10 shots, 90 seconds.
Okay.
Off 5 positions. If you start on barricade, you can choose any position you want on this barricade to start. We're going to move to the horizontal pipe over here to the right. Then you go through the pipe on the top of the stack. You're going to go off the standing pipe, vertical pipe on the cement pipes, and then you're going to choose one position off either one of the tank traps.
Okay.
The goal of this is to get it done in 90 seconds and print the smallest group you can.
Cool. As close to the red dot as you can.
As close to the red dot as you can.
Cool. We can do that. Shooter ready.
Stand by.
Yeah, I mean, this was a pretty good stage design for the type of shooting that I'd prefer to do. I tend to shoot very quickly. I'm known for it. So having a high movement stage with multiple positions on a small target is something that really drives me. By the end of that little run, like, you feel your heart racing, you can feel the adrenaline's up, and it just takes a little bit different level of control to make sure you're not breaking early shots or bad shots on target.
Put me on the map. I think you probably should try to study how I move, that's a fact. Yeah, y'all lit the match. I got the belt and I ain't gon' give it back. Yeah, y'all lit the match. I got the belt and I ain't gon' give it back. Yeah, I make the play. And I can do this all day. You know I'm gonna make the play.
I specifically remember the last shot from the tank trap. Reticle broke high and right. Didn't affect the shot itself. It broke clean, but I didn't like how it tracked through. So all in all, pretty good, but I'm guessing there are 2 shots that are not quite where they're supposed to be.
69.29 seconds.
How many?
69.
So I had some time.
Get a little time.
I was a little fast. Yeah, I didn't have my timer on like normal, but I ran it, 69 seconds? So I still had 20 seconds left, which would have let me settle a few positions even more than they were already rock solid. But, you know, point is, make the use of your time when you can.
Okay, Chad, we're going to run you through a stage here. We got 5 positions on top of the Connex boxes here. We're going to start with 1 position or 2 shots off the rooftop, and then you're going to go inside the Connex box. You can choose 4 other positions of your choice.
Okay.
And you're going to be shooting at the bottom left-hand dot. So goal of this is to see the precision and accuracy you can get on that target downrange, and obviously see if you can do that in under 90 seconds.
Okay.
Without seeing the target plate react, it's hard to make corrections. I obviously couldn't see the bullet's hole in paper at 500 yards, so I was just trying to build the quickest, most solid positions I could. From the rooftop, it's obviously a pretty solid position. If you're not comfortable with shooting rooftops, it might take you a little bit to get used to it, but this was definitely the most solid position out of all 4 positions. So first thing when I came in the Connex, I saw this window. It's a good kneeling height, and for me to build a position from the kneeling height is going to be way more stable. So if I was in a match, this is definitely where I want to build a position and read the plate and see. If I didn't see from the first position on the rooftop, I want to see plate activity from this position with a really solid, stable position. And then I moved to the next closest position because we're on a timed 90-second course of fire here. I don't want to waste a lot of time moving, so I went to the very next position. And then the same reason I went to this upper window. I would rather stay standing than have to kneel and stand and kneel. So my choices were start kneeling and then 3 standing positions. I omitted the prone positions because I didn't want to have to deploy a bipod.
Nice run, Chad. You've done 85 seconds. Okay, Andy, we're gonna run you through a stage here. We're gonna be shooting at 500 yards. On the target downrange, your aiming point is gonna be the top right. We got 5 positions. We got 4 off the rocks here. So we got 1, 2 between the rocks here, 3 on top of the rocks. Next one down from that one is number 4. And then we're gonna throw you up in the helicopter for your 5th shot, for your last position and your last 2 shots, I should say.
Sounds good. Yeah, so a stage like this, a lot of times will intentionally push you to where you've got to make a decision. You either go faster than you're comfortable with, or you make good shots and you make good hits. So I'm typically the shooter that's going to err on the side of fundamentals and pressing the trigger and holding it to the rear and watching the bullet fly. So, you know, that's a training thing. Maybe I could train somewhere to go a little faster, but it's a real out of the ordinary stage. You can't really train that really well. I could have done a little bit better, but I think the group's probably pretty good, and we'll see from there.
Excellent, sounds good.
And we all shot arguably different, very different stages, relatively speaking. Mine was a high stress mover. It was just moving 30 yards, 5 different positions, different media. And I noticed it was very hard to see where you were hitting. So you had to make the best assessment you could to keep your group centered on your group, so to speak, and close. But I'm curious if these 2 shots are the 2 off the barricade, the first 2 shots. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, even if that was your natural cone of fire, that's pretty exceptional.
Yeah, I mean, it's about 3 inches plus or minus.
All right,
you
so
had the tough positions.
Yeah, so my group is the one down below, and I'm pretty sure you'll see it when you look back into the trigger cam. The reticle movement was not as stable as I wanted it to be from the Connex box, and that's kind of that oil canning effect. It's a very thin wall, and then once you start cutting holes in the corrugation and it can't connect all of its, you know, rigidity to the ground or to the inside of the box, you get a little bit of that vibration. So my group is a little wider than I would like, but I mean, honestly, it's not bad either. I think we covered all of these with a dollar bill. So mine's a little wider, Francis is a little taller, and then yours is more round, circular. So
when you were shooting off rocks, you had fairly similar, but you also took your time because you knew those positions required more time, and it was going to be a challenge to get to the last position.
Yeah, you know, like it's a non-standard position. So a lot of the positions I would have one leg up or one leg down, or, you know, maybe leaning. Most of the time I like to have my feet really flat on the ground, and one of those positions I just couldn't get there. So, you know, the more you can relax, the more we can rely on those fundamentals. And sometimes we have to deviate from our standard positions, like our, you know, perfect barricades, just not always there. So I think you see that in this, but all in all, like we said, we covered all 3 of these groups with a dollar bill. So, I mean, we're still like around half minute at 500 yards off of different props and rocks and rooftops and barricades. So, I mean, the amount of precision and accuracy that we were able to get here, I think, is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And it also shows, I think, one of the unique points that a lot of people think of their rifles as dial, point, hit center. But this shows, you know, I know where I was supposed to be in relation to my elevation, my windage, and yet I was about a half a tenth left. You were about a half a tenth to a tenth left, and you were about a half a tenth right. We would normally get to correct on the plate and know just because of how the plate rocks and reacts, but we see that type of motion come back to center, but we didn't have that opportunity.
Well, the other thing that's interesting to point out is, you know, this might be somebody saying, well, you had a different wind condition than I had. Well, no, this is just natural variation of your group and your natural point of aim and how you address the rifle, because we all shot this in a no-win scenario with known data beforehand. I mean, we were shooting this morning, so this was our best guess at hitting the center of this target with the information we had in our Rifle Zero. So it's pretty interesting to see that when you think about it.
Yeah, all in all, that's pretty cool, guys.
Good job, fellas.
See it.